Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me see. It's going to take me just a second to get all the little things done. There's always a delay. So it always makes me feel like I'm running behind. But if you are here, I would love to know in the comments that you're here. Let me know that you can see and you can hear. A thumbs up would be super helpful. I'm not seeing it on mine yet, so okay, maybe I see. Let's see. Okay, we're here. Awesome. Hello, Bobby. Let me get this shared over to our Jingle and Mingle group. Y'all, this is so exciting. We're finally here. We're finally ready to do this. Okay. Awesome. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to day one of our spring Jingle and Mingle. I would love to know where you're watching me from. Are you watching on my Facebook page? Are you in the Jingle and Mingle group? Let me know where you are. Are you watching from YouTube? And I'm going to get this pinned and then I'm going to be ready to rock and roll because I've got so much to show y'all. Super excited about it. I was mesmerized watching my friend Betsy. She just she was on right before me. And y'all, I could sit there and watch her make those wax seals all day long. Just love it. I love to watch it. Okay, so awesome. That lets me know that it's working in Jingle and Mingle. Perfect. So, welcome. I am Pam Coxwell. Welcome to my studio. I'm an artist. I paint and draw and make all kinds of things. I have some of my artwork is licensed to Hobby Lobby, so you might see some things there. But I love to teach other women how they can use their creativity as a tool for joy, for stress relief, and to even help them in their faith. So, welcome to Jingle and Mingle and my project. So, what I would like to tell you before I get too deep in this project, because I have so many notes, I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget. So if you are not watching in the Jingle and Mingle group, I want to encourage you to go over to the group and request to join the group because we have 2 days full of presentations and I think you're going to love them all. I really do. There's a place that you can go in the group and it's called the Guides, Guides. Guides. If you look, it's usually across the top on the tabs. If you're watching from your phone, I think you have to do the little hamburger menu thing to see it pop down. But that is a very important place. In guide number 1, that's the one that's going to give you a lot of important links and kind of give you an idea of how everything works. And it gives you the schedule because you don't want to miss anybody. But if you do happen to miss somebody, you'll go back to the guide and look for their guide and watch their replay. So it just helps us to organize things. In guide number 2, that's where you can enter the giveaway. Y'all, the giveaway is over $800 in prizes. I'm giving away a 3-month membership of your choice to Creative Heart Studio or our Printable Club or the Encouragement Club. Lots of good prizes in there. So you want to make sure that you sign up for that. If you need that link, hey, Tracy, thank you for being here. I see lots of names that I recognize. If you scroll up to the top of the comments under my video, I put the link for that giveaway if you've not entered yet. And then what's the last thing I got to make sure to tell y'all? I told you about the giveaway, the replays. A lot of people have to work during the day and they might not be able to watch. Thank you, Shelly. Shelly just shared the group, the link for the group to get to the Jingle and Mingle. If you've not gotten there, hey, sweet Sherry. There's Marla. She's always good to keep me on time, which I always need because I love doing this. And so many of y'all I have met through Jingle and Mingle. So it's got a special place in my heart. So the replays are available in the Facebook group for 30 days, and it's just part of Facebook rules. They're going to go away after 30 days. A lot of them you can find on everybody's YouTube channel. If you ordered a kit from me, and we have a kit for this project, hey, Wendy, you'll get access to our Creative Hub where those replays live, okay? I think I told you all the things that were very important, and I'll remind you at the end in case we have some people who might have missed. Thank you, Christine, for sprinkling. I love seeing all these names. So let me just say hey to a few of y'all. Hey, Debbie and Marla and Wendy, Christine and Brenda, Sweet Sherry, Pam Registers here, and Stephanie, Valerie, Penny, so many names that I recognize. Hey, Diane. Okay, so y'all, this project that I'm going to teach you today is for the painting portion of this stained glass window. I wanted this to look like a stained glass window in a church in the springtime. So I painted this with watercolor paint, and I want to show you how easy it is for you to do this. And I think once you do it, you're going to want to paint more of these. So I broke this down because a lot of times we'll have new people who've never painted before, and I always want to tell you all the things, and it's hard to get all the things in an hour. But my heart's desire is for you to do one of these and to see that you can do this. This is with watercolor paint, and it's painted onto watercolor paper. We're using 140-pound paper, and then we mount it on this wood little panel thing, okay? So the way I did this, so I don't have to talk in hyper speed and so that I don't miss anything, is I've broken this project up into sections, okay? So what that means is there's 2 other videos that I've already recorded, or not, yeah, they're recorded, but I did them over a series of 2 weeks. So if you missed those, I want you to go back and watch them, because one of the videos we talk all about supplies, and I explain to you about different papers, different types of watercolor paper. We talk about paint and brushes. It was just, I was able to just take my time and took an hour just talking about all of that. And you can find the replay to that in my guide is number 9. Johnette, will we be able to order additional wood pieces? Yes, we do have some. If you will send, I don't think we have the wood pieces individually. If you don't see them individually, if you'll reach out to Adrienne, we can get that added. We do have some of these kits left, and I just want to say thank you to all of you who have ordered this kit. I just am so thankful. So thank you. And I'm excited for you to participate in it. So you're going to want to look for the prep video number 1 and guide number 9. No, that's a lot of numbers, but that's where we talk all about supplies. And then in prep video number 2, which I did last Friday, I taught how to draw this and show you how you can draw this with a simple pencil and a very special ruler. Mine's pretty beat up. Here it is. And a pen. So I decided to do it that way because you might want to do more than one of these, and you might want to do something smaller. You might want to do something larger that you could actually frame. And I just felt like the drawing process of this can actually be relaxing, and it's really good brain exercise. And you might be thinking, how in the world is that brain exercise? I'll show you once we get started, but I think you're going to enjoy it. Okay, so let's see. Is that in the Creative Hub's membership hub? You should have access to it, Pam. Yes, you should have access. And anyone who purchased a kit, we give them complimentary access to the hub to watch the video. They just get access to this workshop if they purchase a kit as a bonus. Okay, so any questions about the prep? There's two preps. Prep 1 is supplies, prep 2 is drawing this, and today we're going to focus on painting, okay? So before we even start that part, I want you to know and hear me say, you're not behind. It's okay. Some of y'all have been following along from the beginning and probably already have it drawn out, and that's great. If you don't, that's okay. Just watch and enjoy and then come back and watch the replay and work along with me, okay? So one of the things that you're going to want to make sure to do, and I've got 2 of these to show you, is we're using watercolor paper. Sometimes with the projects that I teach, we'll use just a heavyweight paper. We have even used heavyweight cardstock before. And when you use paper that's not watercolor paper, you have to be careful with how much water you use or it'll buckle, okay? Well, even when you use watercolor paper, it can buckle, and that's okay. We can fix it, but I want to show you how you can prevent that. So this is one that I did whenever I was watching the other presenters this morning, and I did not tape it down because I wanted you to see how it warps. If yours does that, it's okay. Once it's totally dry, you can lay it upside down, put a sheet over it, and just a warm iron, and you can flatten it out. Or you can lay some books on top of it and flatten it out. It's not the end of the world. Don't panic, okay? But I wanted you to see that. The other thing I wanted you to see is this one is a completed one. It's already attached to the wood. And the one that we're going to do together, I taped it down. And so you could tape it to a board. You could tape it to anything hard. You could take a piece of cardboard, cut the cardboard down, and use some masking tape or washi tape and tape the edges. Now, if you watch the prep videos, and I'm saying this because I feel like some of y'all are probably like me and you don't always listen or read the instructions. So if you miss that part, tape it around the edge, and you want to be careful to not cover up anything that's you want painted, because you're not going to be able to get to it. Hey, Destiny. So by taping it down, you could actually sit on the couch and paint this while, I don't know, your family's watching football or something like that, or you're watching TV. It's so awesome. Watercolor is so awesome because it's so portable, and it's one of my favorite mediums. So I already have it drawn. I already have the black lines on there. That's what we did Friday. I want to show you a different comparison. So I intentionally did this on this one. I did not put the black lines, and I wanted y'all to see the difference. It's just pencil lines. So now what I have to do is when it's totally dry, and we'll do some of this together, but I'll go back over it now with the pen, the Artist Pit pen, and outline it, and that's going to make it start being more vibrant and coming alive. Okay, so let's talk about the supplies. I'm not going to go into all the detail that I like to because I did that prep video, but we're going to be using professional grade. These are Daniel Smith watercolor paints, and this is what we call paint dots. We include these with not all of our kits, but a lot of our kits. And so I went ahead and selected the colors for you. These are really pretty, vibrant spring colors. A lot of them are super light. So if you notice, this one is called Wisteria. It's light. And then one beside it's a little bit darker. I'm going to show you how you can use that. So you're going to need the paint. I like to use punch cups because it's special, and I like to have two of them, and because red, if you've painted much or done anything with red, you know that red's a vibrant color. It likes to be the star of the show. So it will bleed, it'll tint your colors. So I like to keep the water separate. I'm going to be using 2 saucers as a little palette, and I'll show you that. You could use, I don't think I have one nearby. I like to use white because it helps me see how translucent I've gotten my paint, to see if I thinned it down enough, because one of the beauties with watercolor paint is you can add water to it to thin it down and make it lighter. I've got a paper towel, got that, and then the paint brushes, and I just had it. If you've been around me very long, you know I'm bad about losing my stuff. This one is called a sword. Sometimes they're called a dagger. This is such a great brush for this particular project, and I'm going to show you once we start painting how you can use it. You could use a flat brush. You could use a round brush. You can use almost anything, really, but I'm going to show you how to use this type of brush to see how versatile it is, okay? All right, an eraser. You're going to want that because anything, so if you've got pencil mark down on your paper and you put your watercolor paint over it, it's hard to erase it. So I like to use a good eraser for that. And I think we're ready. I think we're ready. So in the kit, you would have received the wood piece. You would receive the circle. And the circle, I based this on stained glass windows at my old church I used to go to. I'm so glad I hope you feel good, because I think, oh, I hope they don't get tired of me losing all my stuff. It's not that it's lost, it's just covered up, and it's watching me look for it. It knows where it is. I just don't know where it is. Originally, I was going to paint a design on the center part, but I decided I think a hem would look really pretty there. So we included a circle, some old book pages for the edges here for the window frame, and then a hem page there. We also included bling, and this other one might be dry enough that I can show y'all how to do that before we end. But I'm going to get as far as I can get with this, okay? The other thing you're going to see in your kit is this wood piece and these 2 little, I don't know what they are, rectangle shapes. We did this like, I thought we put a hanger in here for you. So in your bling bag, there's a hanger, but I don't know. I just thought it looked really pretty on the mantle, and that's where I've had mine. And so we just kind of rigged this. It would hold that up. And that way you can put it on your mantle, wherever you want to put it, okay? I really want you to try it. Okay, so let me get focused. Let me stay with the program, and we're gonna get going. Oh, thank you, Christine. You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, I really do love these. I don't do a project if I don't love it, and I love them. And I've got some of our other projects that I want to show you before it's all over. Well, let me just show you now, because I want you to have an open mind. If you've never used watercolor, you can use it for more than a painting that's going to be framed, like you're going to see in this project. This is a project we're currently working on. It's Follow Him to the Cross journal, and that's watercolor on the cover. That's watercolor. This is another project. This is one we've done in Creative Hearts this month. This is watercolor, and then we glued the bling to the top. And for this one, I don't even have mine mounted yet. We made these papers. It looks like leather, doesn't it? It's where this is acrylic paint, but I'm going to layer this on top of that paper. I use watercolor all the time in our journals. Like this is the one we're doing for the year. We have a Follow Him theme. We're studying the words of Jesus. We're lettering them. We're painting with them. And so we're working on this journal, and it's got watercolor all throughout. I just love it because it's a versatile medium. Okay. So tell me in the comments, if you've never used watercolor, let me know. I would love to hear from you to know if you've not used it before. That might help me to know. Thank you, Betsy. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. Okay, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do the top camera. Ah, it's okay. Thank you, Deb. They're so much fun. We're going to be doing it all year long. The Follow Him. That's going to be our theme. I love to work in themes. I love color themes. My closet is organized by color. My life is organized by color. Everything's color coordinated. Okay, good. This is helping me to see. Okay, so please don't feel bad to ask questions, okay? I don't want you to feel embarrassed or bad. There's no wrong question. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have my water. You're probably not going to be able to see this cup of water, but it's going to be for my kind of dirty water, okay? And then I've got my I keep wanting to call it a dagger. A dagger is also shaped like that. Got my paper towel. I will say that if you'll keep a piece, let's see if I can show you. See how I've got the watercolor right here by my cup? So I can blot my brush on it, but I also like to keep some close by because you can actually dab up watercolor if you get too much, okay? That's interesting. I used it on rocks. That's interesting. Okay, I've never done that with watercolor. Okay, so here's my next pep talk. So when we drew this out, everybody's looks different. We used we traced the wood piece. So you're going to need to trace your wood piece. And then I showed them how you can use a ruler like this and you start building the window. So we started it by, we did the lines going across, then we did the lines going down the center, then we started doing angles and, you know, and then we would do the lines, the horizontal lines, and there's rhythm and pattern to it. And I really believe it helps our brain. And if you are like me and you're over 50, I'm over 50, I'm over 60, we really have to practice using our brain. And this is something that I think will help you do that. Okay. So let me get my stuff a little bit closer to me. So here's how I decided on my colors. I want you to understand my process for it because it'll help you decide your colors and not to be overwhelmed by this. I knew, so this is the first one I painted, and I knew I wanted the cross shape to be the focus, okay? So I decided out of all of these colors, I wanted the yellow to be the cross, okay? So I did that first. After I painted it, after I completed it, I thought, oh, I wished I'd been more intentional and painted all of these little triangle shapes coming off of this yellow so it would look like rays of light. So don't be surprised if you paint yours and then you see, oh, I kind of wished I'd done it this way. Well, great. That means you learned from it and paint another one. So what I did on this one is I was more intentional. And so I did the yellow and then I started looking for these lines. Oh, I almost forgot this. This is some salt. Help me remember to tell you to I'll come back to that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do first. The second thing I had to decide is what other color do I want to make sure I get in there in a specific spot. And I chose red because I felt like the red out of all of these colors, this is Pyrrole Crimson by Daniel Smith, is going to really help that yellow cross pop. I don't want the yellow to blend in with everything. I want people to look at it and say, "Oh, that's a cross." So I was intentional to place my red so that it highlighted the yellow cross. Then, and I didn't do it in all the places, and we can be more intentional with this one. Hey, Betty, so glad you're here. I decided I kind of wish now I'd put a little bit more red by these rays of light. So on this one, we can do that, okay? The other thing I had to decide is what color am I going to use for the big spaces? So with watercolor, for those who don't know, you always paint from the lightest to the dark, to the darkest. And so in this case, that wisteria is a beautiful purple. It's super light. So I know that that's one of my light base colors. This Fuchsite Genuine, if you've taken my classes, you know I use this color a lot. Look at the variation in that color. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I use it all the time. So I know that I want to put this one in the big spaces. And so this pink, it's super light. It'll be in the big spaces. And then these darker colors, we'll use those strategically along the edges to start helping these pastel looking colors really pop. Okay, so let's get started. So if I think I one problem with this, if I zoom in too much, you can't see. So look what I did, and you can do this too. I went ahead and I kind of thought through, okay, I want this to be yellow. I know I want to save a place for that to be red. But remember what I said, we have to make sure to erase those pencil marks before we paint, or they're going to be there. I think there's certain erasers that you could get to get them off, but I would just rather not have to worry with that. So I'm going to make sure to go ahead right now, because you know me, I'll forget. I'm going to erase my yellow, my little Y. But if that helps you feel better to go ahead and make it almost like a paint by number thing, do it that way. Do what helps you. The biggest thing is just to relax and enjoy yourself. Sorry, I had to get something to drink. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is get some water on your brush. And as soon as we wet this, it's going to activate it. And okay, y'all, hang on. I can't get that turned off. Okay, can you see that? So it's making that liquid. So what I want to do is I want to pull some of this off right here on the side, and I want to add some water to this to go ahead and get it diluted a little bit right there. That's all I need. All right. So I want you to be able to see it. So let's see if we can get this positioned. This window is 10 by 15. So I'm not going to put paint on every single inch of this. I'm going to let the paint run a little bit, or the wet paint run, because it makes these really awesome variations whenever we do that. But see how I can turn this brush on the side and I can make a line. So what I want to do is I want to turn it on the side and make a line, and then I can come in and kind of fill it in just like that. And you can see that it's wet, but because this is watercolor paper, it's okay. We can use a good amount of water on this because it's watercolor paper and it's meant to absorb it. Now, if you use a ton of water, it might travel outside of the lines. And if it does that, that's okay. You'll have to, you'll just have a more abstract window. But always remember that we can make adjustments with everything when we're regarding art. And sometimes the project changes because of a so-called mistake. And sometimes it looks better because of that mistake. So don't get stressed out. That's what I want you to hear me say. Don't stress out over this. So notice I'm not worried about getting it on every square inch because I want the watercolor to move. I want the water to get absorbed into that paper, and I kinda like for part of that to be white. With when you're painting with watercolor, the paper is actually the white. You don't have white paint, you have white paper. And so, see how I'm turning it on the side? That's gonna help me draw the line. Let me move this up. In a minute, I'll show you how we can use the at turning the angle of this brush and get in with the corners. Okay. I didn't think about this being so big whenever I chose this project. Um, I just like to do things in a series, and so Brandy and I were already talking about, "Oh, we could do a Christmas window too, that would be pretty interesting." Last year, I did a series of windows, spring, summer let's see, summer was patriotic, spring summer was pa what was fall? Fall was, of course, pumpkins and a scarecrow. And then we had Christmas. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I like to do things like that. Okay, so there's our first go right there. So I'm going to be super careful and I'm going to try really hard to not yeah, don't stress out, Gail. So I'm going to try really hard to keep my hand out of that. And the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look now, where else do I wanna put yellow? And while I have yellow on my brush, I'm gonna, go ahead and get it down. So look how I'm holding my brush. This is on the side, this is straight up, and look how perfect it gets in that point. That's all I had to do. So I'm gonna pull it out, and then do this, and then just kinda do like that. Okay. And yours turned out so, so pretty, Sherry. Sherry's special friend. She's, one of our Creative Hearts members. That's my monthly membership that, where I teach the painting, mixed media painting, lettering, watercolor. Now we're playing with clay. Help me remember to show y'all I made some earrings out of some crosses. We're doing the names of Jesus this year. So here's a ray. So I'm gonna do the same thing. See how I use the point to get in there. I really believe if I had a 20-foot desk, I would still fill it up and run out of space. All right, let me show you something real important. So this is designed so that you could stop right there with the yellow and start with another color if you wanted to, you know? Um, or you could let the whole thing be yellow. So I'm gonna let the whole thing be yellow on this one. Yes, they're from the clay. This month we're doing the names of Jesus and we're making a symbol for each of the names of Jesus, and they're gonna be ornaments so that because we were pretty stressed out last year trying to get all our Christmas stuff done. So we're not doing that again this year. So we're starting now working on our Christmas ornaments. And so by the end of the year, and I'm gonna turn this sideways. So think of it, it's upside down right now, but you need to do that with your artwork. Turn it so that it doesn't hurt your neck or your shoulders, because we want to paint as long as we are able, as long as our body will let us. So we have to take care of those necks, don't we? All right, so I'm just going to follow it down. This would be really pretty to have different colors in this ray. I wanted to do this one super simple for the sake of time because I really would like to finish it with y'all. Okay, so here's another ray. So let me know if you have questions in the comments. So see how I can just pull this down. And look at here, I'm changing my brush again. Watch this. And I can get in that little point. Well, I guess you couldn't see it, but this is kind of how it looked like. Okay. And I know it looks a little bit plain right now, but we will be adding more to it. All right, so here we go. So there we go. All right, so first step. So let me see if I can pull this out. Hey, Angela from Louisiana. Okay, so now you can see I'm in Alabama, so we're Southern girls, aren't we? Okay. Now, do y'all see it? Now, just by painting that one color, it helps you see the window more clearly, doesn't it? And it's almost like, okay, I see other little angles that could kind of be a sun ray, but it's really up to you how you want to do it. So, what I want to do now is I want to let this yellow rest and I want to go to the red. Okay, so I'm going to rinse my paintbrush and I'm going to do the same thing. I think I painted, this is my third window with this paint. I'm pretty sure this is my third one. So it goes a long way, especially if you use the saucer. Oh, and you know what I didn't do, girls? I did not erase the R. So let's do this. Now watch what happens as I add the red. And let me make sure I'm doing my best to keep up with time. All right, so here we go. So this red is very powerful, does not take much, and I'm using the tip of that brush to get in there. And then I'm turning it like this. This is a 1/4 inch, if that helps you to know. Okay, and I decided to go ahead and go all the way down with my red, but it would be pretty. You could do red, pink, red, or red, purple, and I kind of did do that on the bottom. All right, so it's this simple. Anybody have questions? See how it makes that little angle stand out? You can decide if you want if you want your color, if you're okay with colors touching each other. What I've been doing is I've been taking pictures, step-by-step pictures, and I'm going to post them in my guide. Oh, good. I've got a little boo-boo right here I need to show you. So look at here, y'all. See how that wet red touched that damp yellow. And this watercolor paint is meant to travel with water. It does not know the difference between water and paint, so it's starting to move. Yes, we drew this gal last Friday, and you can find the tutorial for that in guide number 9. And I teach you how to draw it yourself based on whatever size you're working with. Guide number 9. And that guide also has a tutorial about the supplies, about the paintbrushes, about paper. I took time to just go into detail over there. There's two, it's called prep 1 and prep 2. Prep 1 is about the supplies and prep 2 is about drawing. I think I'm right in that. It would be safer Marla, if you let them dry first. So Marla had a great question, and she always does. She said, should we let colors dry first before painting adjacent squares? It's going to be the safer way to do it. Absolutely. Because what I'm doing is I'm being super duper careful. And even as careful as I was, a little bit still seeped over. And that's where I'm going to take this paper towel and I'm just going to come right here and I'm going to dab it up. That's all. Okay, so now I want to go across this way. I wanted you to at least see this because it's going to help you decide on your other colors. So I'm going to take this red, and most likely for time's sake, I'll probably start sticking with one side so that I can show you how to add some depth to it also. But it's kind of like painting by color. I usually skip areas that aren't touching, then come back. Yes, that's definitely the best way. So I'm glad you asked that because I did not think to tell you that. It is the best way. Unless you're on Jingle Mingle and you need to finish it. There's another place where it's spread, but we can fix it. It's okay. I was going to say something else, but I forgot what I was going to say, y'all. Can y'all see okay at this viewpoint? If I zoom in closer, you could see it better, but then you can't see the whole thing. Okay. You could use a hair dryer too. You could do that. But what really helped me is by going ahead and putting the red in there because it really helped me to get an idea of how much that yellow was going to stand out or if I needed to do anything additional to it. Okay, so what I want to show you next is first I got to take this. It's warmed up, y'all. It's warmed up. So next I want to show you how I decided about the fuchsite. So fuchsite genuine is this color right here, and that's the main window color. I'm calling that the main color. It's very translucent, super duper translucent, so it's not very dark at all, but that's okay because we're going to come back with cobalt and some of this green to darken it up in some areas. So what I decided to do whenever I was doing mine is I knew that, and I see a place I missed for some red. I knew that the yellow was kind of pale and the red helps it pop, and it's going to bug me. So hang on, y'all. Hang on just a second. Let me go ahead and get this in here. I already had the fuchsite on my other brush. This is going to bug me. Okay, can you kind of see how as you add these different colors next to a color, it's either going to blend in with that color or it's going to be like a contrast and make that color pop. And for me, the red really helped that yellow pop. And so what you could do before you go to the next color is look at it from the angle of where else should I put some red to help this yellow pop. So I could definitely put some red right here and that would help it pop. And I think that that's safe enough now I can do that because that looks drier. Okay, so if I do it there, then I wanna do it somewhere on this side. It doesn't have to be mirror image, but to keep it kinda balanced, then I wanna put it over here somewhere. So, I think I'm gonna choose here, even though it's not mirror image, and if that bothers you, then you probably drew yours to be more mirror imaged, so and that's okay too. Okay, now I can concentrate on it. Isn't that funny that that was bothering me that I forgot to do it? Okay, so now I've got some red by each of the rays except for this one. Gosh. Ah. Okay, let's do it here because I can do the same on the other side. If you watch the video of where we drew this, you'll see that I drew this with a pattern, and so we'd do one on one side, one on the other side. Okay, now I feel better about it, except for it helps me see that there's not a red by that yellow. Okay, now, y'all still with me? Let me see where we are. Okay, so I think I'm at peace now for right this moment for that red. We may come back and do some more, but for right now, I'm at peace. Okay, so now let's talk about this fuchsite. That's the color that I want to have like in between these yellows. It's like the filler. I've got this pink and this light purple that are going to be my base pale colors. So let me try this again. All right, so now I'm going to come right here in this window pane. And this one is super duper light. But one of the things that you can do with watercolor that's so much fun is you can do a wet on wet method, which makes them blend together, but you can also do a wet on dry. And that's whenever it helps things stand out and have more contrast. So that's what I'm hoping to be able to show you before we get off is how to do the wet on dry because it's a lot of fun. All right, so I've got that down there. I'm going to put one here near that. And what you'll see is as you do one color and you put it in the places where you think you want it, it's going to help inform you on where else should you put it. So it just helps me see, okay, it makes sense just to put this right here like that. And it kind of makes sense to put this right here. And it just starts. I did not plan that out. I'm doing one and then it's like, okay, that makes sense to have it like this. So now how could I incorporate that back up here at the top? So all I have to do is come right here and I could put it right there. A little bit of red got in that one, but that's okay. I can put it right here. That's making a really interesting color. It's like a gray. Okay, so now as I'm looking at it, whoops, I've got a big blob of red somehow or another. I'm going to come down here to this one and put it right here. And do the same on this side. Okay, so now let's go pink. How are we doing on time? All right, so let's go to pink. So where would be a good place for the pink? Whenever I did my other window, I put it close to the red. So I'm going to put it right here, knowing that we can always come back and we can darken this up by using the wet on dry. Whenever it's wet on dry, that second layer lays on top. It doesn't blend together. So I'm going to come right here, add some pink next to that red, and I'm looking at it. Where else could I put some pink? I could put some pink right here by that red, right here by this red. And the more I do it, it's like, oh, there's some more. There's another little spot I could put some pink. And I could put some right there. And then, so I've done that down here. Here's another place I could put some pink by that red. And I know it looks really pale right now, but when we come back with those, that second layer of dark color, that's where it makes it start coming alive. Okay, so now I'm looking up here, and where could I put pink next to my red? Here's a good place right here. Just getting it on there. Any questions? Y'all good? So I need some over here on this side. So I'm just going to put it right here. And if you notice, this is a long vertical. This is horizontal. I didn't have a vertical. That's okay. Your eye is looking for pattern. There's something about our eye and our brain. It just looks for pattern. All right, so now I want to move to the purple, and I may come back and see some other places like I did right there. There's another place that I could put pink. I miss those little triangles, but we're just getting the base down right now. So I like to put purple next to yellow. I like the way they look together. They're complement each other. So now I'm looking for, where do I need to put some yellow? And if you notice, I'm choosing the lightest yellow, and then I'll come back with another layer. And I chose to not fill that in. You could fill that in if you wanted to. That's personal preference. Okay. For those who are new to Jingle Mingle, we have several more presentations. Sarah is coming up after me, and then after her is Cotton Chaos. They are adorable. And then tomorrow we have more presentations tomorrow. So if you're just maybe you accidentally stumbled on this and like, what in the world are they doing? This is something that we started a few years ago, and it's been so much fun. We started it in July, I think about 3 years ago, as a Christmas in July, and we then added a spring, and we just get together and we makes fun stuff, projects for y'all. Okay, so I'm looking now at my yellow. Do I see some more places? I definitely would like to do this long one right here with that wisteria. And right here. And let's do one right here. My brain loves this. My brain is like, oh, I love this. Let me see, where else do we need wisteria? Okay. So that gets the purple by the yellow. Do y'all see anything I missed? Got some all around. Okay, so now I've got a few squares that I don't have anything. So now I can come in with a different color, or I could bring in some some additional red pieces, which I definitely would like to add some more red. So let's add a little bit down here. Let's add a little bit right here. And let's add a little bit right here. Okay, so what I noticed whenever I was doing my window, See this dark blue? It's more of like an accent color. And so for my window, I used it in just a few places, and I did it at the very last because it was so dark. Okay, so all right. I want to show you in these last few minutes how you can do this wet on dry. So this is Terry Verte. I'm going to come right here. It's the dark variation of the, what is it called? Fuchsite Genuine. So look what happens. Let me pull it down closer so y'all can see. Okay. And I'll, don't worry that we're not finishing this together. I felt like we probably would not have time to finish it together, but because I want you to be able to do it and not feel rushed, and ideally you would be able to leave some spots open and work around and then come back. Then you don't have to feel nervous about it bleeding. I will record this section, the last parts for you and put it in the guide. So don't worry about that. But this would be the second step, is to come back now with a darker variation. So like this is the darker purple. So we would come back onto that wisteria and just add that purple in the corners and around the edges like that. That's the purple. The red, for the red, what I did is I came back and put a layer of red on top of the red. And then for the pink, I used that rhododendrite genuine, this color right here for the pink. And look how pretty it is. And just put it in the corners. Like that. Oh, I'm glad you think so, because I'm thinking, oh boy, I should have gone faster. But I really don't. I really want you to enjoy it. I don't want you to feel rushed. And the main thing I wanted to show you was how to get the base layer down, and then how to choose where to put your colors, and then how to come back and add that darker value to help darken it. Okay, so we've got 4 minutes. So let me show you how we can use this cobalt teal right here in some of these spaces that are blank. So I can put that right there. So I need to put something right here. And it's just a pop of a darker color. I've about rubbed a hole in this paper, y'all. That's okay, though. Okay, so let me show you. Let's close it out by showing you how powerful it is now with this red. Let me turn it like this. All right, so I'm just going to go right here. And I'm not going to completely cover every little place because I want the variation. I want some darks and lights with it. So, see what I'm doing? I'm just going in the corners and along the edge, and look what that does. See? So that would be your next step. So just to recap, put your base layer down, let it dry. Some of mine is not dry, so I'm not going to have the same effect. Then come back with either your darker color or some more of the same color. This is the yellow, putting the yellow on top, and put some in the corners and along the outside, okay? That's all you have to do. Any questions before we pass over to, hand it over to Sarah with Framed with Sarah? and find the prep videos in guide number 9. We have a few more kits left if you want a kit. I'd love to have you in our Creative Heart Studio to do the Follow Him journey with us in the names of Jesus. And just check guide number 9, and that's where I'll put the rest of the tutorial for this. Okay? Thank you, Stephanie. Thank y'all for being here. Everybody's been so awesome. Let me get this up bigger so you can see where we're at. Okay. All right. So you'll need to refresh. You'll need to refresh your browser for her to show up, and be sure to enter the giveaway and check out the other presenters. And we're just thankful for y'all to be here. All right. All right. Thank y'all. See you next time.